Hello, hello, hello. My name is River. We are back in the abandoned cabin, about to do a little more transformation. I am probably having friends come visit me this coming weekend. It's Tuesday right now, so I have today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, gotta work Friday, friends coming Saturday to make this place as cozy and guest-friendly as possible, and also to try to paint the back room that I'm in right now. That might be too much for me to do in 3 days, but at the very least, I want to get this back room primed with paint. If I can't do the color, then I can't do the color. And I say that I think I have friends come visiting this weekend because whenever I invite people over, not whenever, but most of the time when I invite people over, they end up canceling at the last minute because it's quite a drive from where all my friends live. So I completely understand that. I'm just taking the perspective of if they come, amazing. If they don't come, it's still a great sense of urgency to get my ADHD brain to lock in on getting some work done back here. So I'm gonna unload the paint from my car and just jump right in. In typical River fashion, by the time I have actually gotten down to the part of painting, it is almost dark, but thankfully I have these lights that I used in the last video that are battery powered. My plan is to move everything away off the walls on this half of the room, primer the walls and the ceiling on this half of the room, and then kind of flip-flop everything to the other half of the room. I did forget to get drop cloths, but I decided it doesn't really matter because I have decided to paint the linoleum floor in here. So it shouldn't really matter if I get paint drips on it because I'm going to paint the floor last and then the paint will cover that up. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of jump into it. The nice thing about working with shitty canvas is it doesn't really matter that much if you don't do it perfectly. I'm excited to get in there. I'm going to be audio booking and you will get a nice little sped up version. Also, somebody told me that this is a boot jack and that like you're supposed to be putting your heel here to like take your boots off, but that just doesn't really make any sense to me because I've looked up like what other boot jacks look like and it's like just this part. It doesn't have, like you could say, okay, this is like to step on or whatever, but like why this? And why this back piece of it that comes off with Velcro? I feel like there's something else going on here. I feel like it's some kind of TV tray, but then why does it have this hole in the middle? So I'm not convinced that it's a boot jack. Feel free to try again or convince me that it is a boot jack in the comments. But put this away. Let's head it out to test it. To move this, I don't know, piece of carpet, I think is what this is. I don't even know if you can dignify that with the word rug. Well, I feel kind of stupid right now because I bought two 2-gallon things of Kiehl's all-purpose primer. I should have looked this up before. I just looked it up. Paint that I got from my friend that's really nice is lime wash paint. And you're not supposed to use this. Like specifically, you don't use this because it needs like a porous surface to attach to. And that creates like a moisture barrier non-porousness. And you're supposed to either get lime wash primer or don't use primer at all. Or use a different type of primer that's the opposite of this. So I'm kind of unsure of what to do. I do have a lot of the lime wash paint. I really don't want to go back to town this week. So part of me is thinking I should just put it on directly and do more coats of it on the walls. Since it sounds like you don't always have to use a primer. I genuinely am not sure what to do right now. Okay, so I just sat down and went into a little rabbit hole learning about lime washing, and I do not have the tools that I need to do this. Learning more about it made me even more excited about the lime wash. I knew that it was like you know, all natural and non-toxic, and that's great. But I didn't know that you're supposed to take two lime wash colors and be mixing them together on the wall in like a cloud pattern with a natural bristle brush. That is not what I was prepared to do today. I do not have supplies for that. If I go to the store tomorrow and get more stuff for this, it's gonna pretty much eat up a lot of my day and a lot of my executive function energy. And I'm not really going to be able to prep the cabin for guests and also have some like progress done in here. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to use Kiehl's primer that I can't use on the walls to paint the floors. I was reading that you should sand the linoleum before you paint it in order for it to have a more adhesive texture for the paint. But of everything in here, like I want to do the walls as correctly as I can because the walls are going to stay the same. But as I've said before, I am going to cover up the vast majority of the floor with rugs and also eventually tear out the floor and put in a new floor, like hopefully within the next year. So if it ends up being that I put this primer down and it needs another coat or it scratches off kind of easily, I don't really care. I think it'll still be an improvement. And the Kiehl's primer was not that expensive. I will probably end up taking back the second bucket since probably won't need all of that for the floor. But it seems like it's really not that big of a deal if it doesn't work out. And I really do want to feel like I've changed something in the space, especially before I bring like more rugs back here and stuff. So maybe it's better to do this anyway, and then I can just put a drop cloth down when I end up doing everything else. I don't know. I just want to get something done. Well, that was fun. One coat down. Definitely looks like it'll need two. And yeah, I'll probably paint another color over it. I don't want the floor to just be white, but at least it's starting to cover the tile, and it being like a mildew blocker is probably good. I'm just annoyed. I probably should have like moved everything into the living room so that I could paint the other half of this room. Now I need to wait for it to dry. Okay, friends, it actually only takes, oh, maybe not. Uh-oh, it's not dry. Okay, it's now been 3 hours since I've painted, and it finally looks dry, except for where I kind of put it on extra thick around the edges, but that's fine because I don't really want to do the edges again. So I'm gonna hit it with another coat before what I poured dries out in its container. Okay, friends, we're back, and I am on the, oh, hello. Oh, you can't see. Hi. Hi. I am standing on the white floor. There's definitely some spots that could use another coat, specifically over here. I don't know if you can really tell. And I definitely don't love that I got a decent amount on the walls from not taping, but I'm just gonna come in with some paint remover thinner and get rid of that eventually. But yeah, overall, I think it's a good thing. And I'm gonna start moving things over to this side so I can do the other side, and then I'll do like a touch-up layer. Remove this coat rack thing because A, I wanna move this and like actually paint underneath it. And B, I already have this other coat rack thing that's movable. And I've also seen some cool, fairly easy DIY videos on how to build your own coat rack. So I don't feel like I really need that to be right there. And it's kind of janky. And it's also making it so that I don't have like free play on how I can arrange the room. So I'm gonna try to undo that. Well, that was pretty easy to get off. Fairly satisfying. And I can see that this wall used to be like white behind here. Ooh, that scuffed that up pretty bad. Yeah, guess I'll just redo everything, 'cause I'm really bad at planning ahead, and I should have moved this dang piece of shitty furniture before I started painting. There's only one screw holding this safe onto the wall, and it's threaded. So I think I need to borrow a Sawzall to cut the screw where it's attached, which is annoying. It is the next day, and the floors are looking white in there. Let's check it out. Looking white, looking quite crisp. Even like the little bit that I've walked on this with my slippers though is making it dirty. I'm feeling like the amount of effort that it's gonna take to like move the furniture around and get everything cozy, it would just make way more sense for me to finish painting and then do that, so I don't have to undo all of my work, especially when it comes to like moving rugs around and stuff, which is very frustrating and takes a lot of energy for me, like wrestling large objects, furniture, rugs. My thought here is it's like 1:30 right now. I'm going to drive into town and go get some like porch exterior paint that's a darker color to put down on the floor here, and then also get whatever primer and brushes I need for the lime wash, so that today I can paint the floors darker color and then hopefully do the lime wash also. I don't know if I'll actually get done with it. I already like it better in here though. Like obviously the bright white is not like the color that I would want it to stay, but it's definitely better than it was before. And it does feel cleaner, so that's good. It's just a little bit sticky still in some places. I have returned. It is almost dark. I'm running out of light, so I really want to get another coat of paint down on the floor. I got this color. It's called Deep. Oh, did I? Is this the right one? Hold on. I think this is the color I got. It's a really dark purple. I want to do something different than shades of green or pink, since that's what I'm doing for the walls. I love a purple moment, so I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna tape this time. It's beautiful! It's so pretty. Okay, to come back for this corner. Okay, y'all, it's the following day. I didn't even really wait for my coffee to like sit in the French press because I just wanted to mainline that shit. Yeah, I woke up really early today because I got some bad news last night and I just like mentally couldn't wrap my head around it. So I decided to go to bed early and wake up early so that I could have maximum time and energy to figure out what is going on. So I was looking up the dry time for the floor paint because I thought that it would be like the Kills primer where it'd be like 3 or 4 hours and then I could put down another coat, then go to sleep, and then wake up today and do the other part of the room that has the furniture on it that's white currently and move the furniture over. Then I found out that the paint that I used, it's exterior deck paint because it's gonna have foot traffic on it, right? Like you can't just use wall paint on the floor or it's gonna chip off really easily. But I didn't know that it takes 3 to 4 days and even sometimes up to a week depending on whether it's latex, oil, or water-based. And I also can't tell because my can of paint is like in the room past the part that I painted. The floor's not dry this morning. I should not have put that layer of paint down before my friends are coming over because now no one can walk on that back room area for like minimum of 4 days depending on what type of paint I got. and I was kind of spiraling because I was going to have everybody sleep back there. There's like that bed thing, and then also somebody was going to bring their own bed. And now I'm like I only have 2 friends coming. I could have one of them sleep on the futon in here. I can probably fit my friend's like cot bed thing in here. It's just going to be really tight. And then I can go sleep in the yurt. But that just kind of sucks because it was supposed to be this like sleepover vibe. But I also feel like I shouldn't just cancel because of this, because I can still have people over and it's not that big of a deal. It just sucks because, as I've talked about on the channel, specifically my video where I'm fixing up the wood stoves, I'm not a perfectionist. I very much, as you can probably tell from watching me do these projects, I very much like 80% of the way ass things. Not half-assing, that's not enough, but I'll do like 80% of the way, and that's good enough on most things. But when it comes to hosting, I have a bit of a perfectionist streak where I want everything to be perfectly clean. I want my guests to be perfectly comfortable. I want to have all the snacks and all the food and all the drinks. I want to have all the activities for us to do. I don't want anyone to feel bored or uncomfortable or anything at any point. And I'm trying to take this situation as like a lesson to get over that, because at the end of the day, I end up not making that much time, as much time as I should, to see my friends, because it doesn't feel like the perfect situation. And at the end of the day, you know, my friends who are coming, like, they watch my YouTube channel. They know they're not coming to some like Airbnb cabin. They're coming to like piss in a bucket under construction, like, looks like it's from Yellow Jacket's cabin, you know? They know that, and they want to come out to see what I'm doing and to hang out with me, not to, like, be given the spa treatment in the cabin or whatever. So I'm really trying to let go of the vibes that I had imagined, and I think today I'm just going to focus on cleaning the rest of the cabin, because everything else is a mess because I've been working on this project. And I also need to clean the outhouse because I haven't even used the outhouse here yet. I just used the one at the cabin. So yeah, I definitely am going to need a lot of coffee to get the motivation to start doing this. I would have gotten so much dopamine from having everything like be done. I half-assed too close to the sun. I don't think even Lena Norms would be proud of me in this situation. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm going to drink more coffee and defrost my brain. I do really like the color, though. I'm happy with the color, at least. Also, I'm having water leaking from the roof into this corner and messing up the paint, which is not ideal or awesome. I was driving over here with some supplies from the yurt, and I figured out what I needed. I need to get hyped. I need to listen to music. I need to bust this out. This room is plenty big for 2 people to stay in here. It's not a big deal. I'm getting over myself. Everything's gonna be okay. I still have to drive into town and go to work tonight, so I have like 4 or 5 hours of productivity to get everything together. It's time to charge my headphones so I can get hyped. Macaroni and cheese and tuna, my off-grid struggle meal. to go to work. It is sunshine today. This is the day people are coming over. I've got some groceries out I need to put away, but yeah, the porch is looking really cute. I really like having the cooler next to the door because it's easier to access it from the inside as well. Inside is feeling really clean and nice. I'm really happy about bringing this water pitcher here, and it's nice and cozy on this side. I'm excited to have people over. I completely forgot about a critical part of this mission, which is cleaning out the outhouse over here. I haven't used it yet at all because I always just go back and use the one in my yurt. So it's not in that bad of shape, which is good. I'm just gonna wipe everything down. I feel like this is good enough for now. I really think the urinal's probably barely been used because it would be weird to come in here to use the urinal when you can just easily pee outside. Just kind of has like some dirt and cobwebs in it, and I will clean that out later at some point. But this whole area is clean. I've got fresh toilet paper in the Folgers. I've got some cleaning supplies in here in case anyone wants to like wipe it down again. I'm just gonna leave it open to air out. I also washed this blanket while I was in town, and I'm gonna vacuum the couch really quick. The sun is setting. My friends are about 30 minutes out to an hour. I'm gonna start digging a impromptu fire pit. I've done a lot of analyzing of the land and thinking about where I want kind of like my main like outdoor seating area and fire pit to be. And just for reference, this is the cabin right here. I'm thinking here, it's not perfectly flat, but compared to everything else, because we're very much on a slope here, it's fairly flat. There used to be a fire pit area all the way down here, but since they mulched a bunch of the blackberry and the trees, that whole area is very much in view of a house that is over there. And for obvious reasons, I don't want that. I also like that this is like just a short distance from the house. Eventually, I'm going to move my like patio table. It's over at the yurt over here and whatnot, and like build a real fire pit with rocks and stuff. But I'll just start by digging a hole. Well, maybe I should be throwing the dirt that way since this is like the grass that's still pretty nice. It's not a very deep hole, but I did dig too deep of a hole for my other fire pit, and I can always dig this deeper. I just wanted to kind of have a designated area, so I think that's fine. I just got my first look at the moon. So gorgeous. Wow. I haven't made an outdoor fire in so long. It's pretty exciting.
What's up, buddy?
Grabbed a bunch of the Doug fir from the pile over there that I've been trying not to use in the stove because of creosote. This is pretty epic. When you cry, I do too. Moon's going behind the clouds a little bit. This feels like another big moment for me on this cabin project. First outdoor fire, first time having some friends come over to the cabin. Feels really, really good. Feels the most homey that it's felt so far. And I'm sure it's only gonna get homier from here, but I'm just like feeling really grateful for everything that I have. And yeah, for also having the perseverance to stick through some of the harder parts that I've experienced so far. And I want to thank you for being a part of it. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna film when my guests are here, but so I might as well just say goodbye now, just in case. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will get back to painting in the next video and eventually moving into the cabin after I get done with the painting, which will be pretty exciting. I don't